22nd, night after the greatest comeback, the biggest comeback in Nashville Predators history. We're fresh off our trip to Nashville this weekend, so we're here to break it all down. I'm David.
And I'm Charlie.
And welcome to the Sauced Hockey Podcast. So, where do we start? I guess, do we start with last night's game or our trip to Nashville this weekend?
Let's start with Nashville trip.
Nashville trip. All right, so hang tight if you're just waiting to hear about last night's epic comeback, which was truly epic. We'll get to that in a few minutes, but start us off, Charlie. How did it go this weekend in Nashville?
That was a great game.
Incredible.
And, but the first thing that I'd like to point out about the game is before the Marcus Foligno interview.
Yeah, earlier in the week.
Earlier in the week, Marcus Foligno is talking about
From the Minnesota Wild.
That the last time we faced the Minnesota Wild, that's when LaRue got suspended for slewfoot.
Mm-hmm.
3 games, and he was like, "Oh, we're gonna get him.
Yeah, we're gonna teach him a lesson. He doesn't know the code. You know, he's gonna have to pay for what he did.
All of our guys are gonna just."
Yeah, he got suspended, but Spurgeon's still out, and you know he should have to miss as many games. You know, blah blah blah, and basically threatening to injure him is what it sounded like. And
that's not okay. That is not okay.
So going into the game, there's some heightened tensions on both sides. The Predators responded well, I thought, like in interviews leading up.
O'Reilly was like talking about how him and the team, they've got LaRue's back.
That's right. They said, hey, he's tough. He can handle himself, but we've got his back. He knows that we're going to defend him as well, which is what you want from your teammates.
My prediction before the Wilds game, while we were in Nashville, I predicted that there was going to be like 8,000 fights. Pretty much came true.
Yeah, right off the bat, puck drops. After first shift, because
after the first 2 or 3 shifts.
The first shift, LaRue was on the ice. Right away, who goes after him? Former Nashville Predator, Yakov Trenin.
That's right.
And Trenin beat him. You know, it was a good fight. LaRue, stood up for himself well, but Trenin's more experienced and beat him in the fight.
But then
they both go to the box.
After that play, you saw Marcus Foligno and Luke Shin talking to each other.
Yeah, they're all talking. I said,
"You want to go?"
Luke Shin and Foligno are about to go. They're having words down there. Sure enough, they line up next to each other at the face-off dot, which already is like, okay, why is the defenseman right there? And and they drop the puck. Boom! Shin and Foligno drop gloves. They have an epic fight. That was a good one. I'd say Shin got the better of that fight. I'm not sure. Do you remember?
It was really close.
Yeah, it was close. So 2 big fights in the first 3 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
Then there was a little break before the next fight. Oh yeah, there were minor penalties for each team right after. So now we have 3 players in the box for each team right off the bat at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, at one point there was for us, we had Forsberg, Shin, and LaRue in the penalty box.
Yeah. And everyone's going crazy.
The Forsberg penalty was while we were on the power play. I remember there was I think it was tripping or something, or holding, but yeah, and we had 3 players in the box, and it was just, there was a lot of penalties too. Regular minor penalties.
Definitely. We had a few power plays. It was a good game. And
I think there were a few special teams goals, so.
Nice. Okay, so scoring wise, we go down early in that game, right?
Yeah, they score immediately.
Yeah, they get
straight in the first period. Well, not immediately, but after the penalties and stuff. I can't remember if that was power play or not.
Yeah.
And then let's see who scored the first goal.
For Nashville?
No, not Forsberg.
Let's see. I'll pull it up. This will help jog our memory. Went on notes for this game since we were there live. It was such a good, exciting game, though. It deserves to be recapped well.
There it is.
So Juracek gets the first one. That's a new player for them. He got traded over from I don't remember.
But Boldy and Rossi are like neck and neck in points, goals, and in assists.
Yeah,
like
they're tied on everything.
And
they both got an assist on that goal.
23.
Colton Sissons got our first one.
That's
it was a nice goal, too.
I remember that.
He was like falling down.
Bobby
Orgel, yeah. Assisted by McCarron and Luke Shin. They were both putting pressure on. That tied it up in the first.
And then that's when Forsberg scored special team on the power play because there's a gajillion goals.
And that was a special goal. Why?
Because that power play goal was Forsberg's 81st power play goal. Then he passed Shea Weber
for first all-time
for franchise power play goals
for the Nashville Predators, which was
awesome.
Neat that we were at the game for the game he broke the record, which, he's got lots of records. We were talking about that last week.
Yeah.
But
that's Forsberg and Shea Weber, they're at the 80 mark. But in third place, it goes down to Yossi who's at like 64.
64, okay.
Which is, but that's.
Yeah, but Yossi potentially could catch Weber too.
Yossi's gonna get up there.
So then you've got Stamkos gets on the board, assisted by Forsberg and Yossi. That's in the second. That puts us up 3-1.
And then Svechkov.
Svechkov with a beautiful pass from Novak behind the net. Novak has been playing really well lately. Yeah, I'm happy to see it. He was struggling for the first part of the season.
And after that goal, I remember hearing, "It's Frosty time!"
It's Frosty time!
Because in Nashville, if you score 4, you get free Frosties.
So now we're up 4-1. We go into the third. They get one on the power play from Matt Boldy. So 4-2.
And
Forsberg gets another one unassisted in the third period. And Brady Shea gets an empty netter.
Forsberg assisted that, but we were hoping Forsberg got the goal for the hat trick.
For the hat trick. I also kind of secretly wanted it to be Zach LaRue. And then he just skates by their bench with a little wink or nod, Yeah, it just would have been epic. But incredible game that night against the Wild. The Predators played like a full 60-minute game. I don't think there were any moments when we were there watching where the Predators were looking bad. We've had games recently, including last night's epic comeback, which we'll get to in a minute, where we've had long stretches or long periods or entire periods of the game where it's just bad play from the Preds. So we're on a how many game win streak now? 4? 4-game win streak.
First of the season.
This third win against the Wild was definitely one of the most impressive against one of the best teams. Now again, Wild are still missing a couple players, including number 1 star Kirill Kaprizov,
who leads their team in like every scoring stat right now.
Yeah. But, we were missing some of our players when we played them earlier in the season and stuff. So I mean, you can't do that. It's still a big win. It's good for the Preds. So that was huge. Now, last night's game.
Cut to the chase.
We go down. I don't turn on the game until 5 minutes left in the second period. So when I tune in. And at that point, the score is, I believe, 5-2 or 5-3 Sharks. So, Charlie, what do you have any notes leading up to that period you want to break down for everybody? Because I missed the first part. I saw some of the highlights, but...
And I missed like the first 7 minutes of the first period.
Oh, okay.
But I went back and watched the Celebrini goal.
He got the first one for the Sharks, right?
1 minute and 7 seconds in, yes.
I mean, this kid's so good. Number 1 draft pick for a reason. Arguably playing better than Connor Bedard this year. It's kind of neck and neck, which is crazy. I mean, not necessarily if you expect the sophomore slump the second year, but... Bedard's doing well, but Celebrini he's been playing really well.
That was like a one-on-one goal with a beautiful setup. He was just like moving his stick, getting ready for the shot, and I couldn't tell when he was gonna shoot because it looked like little fakes.
Yeah. He disguises his shot really well. When he shoots it, it's fast.
And then he immediately shoots it really fast and the corner, and Sars is just like, huh?
Yeah. You know what I love about
awesome.
One of the things that jumps out about Celebrini, which I think is good for all young hockey players to pay attention to, because Celebrini's really young, obviously. It's just coming up, but he's already so good at this, is he skates with the puck with his head up more noticeably than I think most people. It seems like he always has his eyes up while he's puck handling. looking at what's going on. And, you know, what's he looking for? He's looking for what's the best play. Do I have time and space to keep carrying the puck and keep skating up? Is there a pass that I can make that's about to happen? What area of the net am I going to shoot at? Who's coming to hit me? I think that's a big one. That, you know, hockey's a dangerous sport. There's a lot of momentum, and when your head's down, you don't have an opportunity to see where the hits are coming from. It's way more dangerous. But it's not easy to do. I know my son Augie was practicing it last week, you know, just puck handling without looking at the puck, and it takes some skill and practice, and Celebrini's, I think, one of the best in the world at it. He's so good.
Sure. And then when I got on the game, I saw they were reviewing this like weird tip goal by Luke Kunin, former Predator,
former Nashville Predator,
and like I think it was they were thinking that I don't remember if it was actually under review for the challenge, but yeah, it was just a for sure weird one. I couldn't.
Yeah, it ended up counting though, right?
Yeah, it did count.
So that's their second goal on Juicy Saros, which he had 4 goals allowed in how many shots?
I don't remember, but it was.
But looking back at some of the goals, the team wasn't playing well in front of him. So yeah, you want Saros, your amazing goalie, to make some of those saves and keep your team from being down so many, but you can't put it all on him, you know. So they get a couple more. They go up at some point 4-0, right? They get 4 in a row?
No,
we got one.
3 in a row.
3 in a row, okay.
The third one scored by Kyle Granlund.
Former Nashville Predator, because that's just the way it goes. Granlund's having a great season for the Sharks, and is, I think, a crucial piece for them for these next couple of years, where they're trying to let Celebrini and Will Smith and those younger players get some experience, because Granlund he's one of the guys that plays the game right. He is always working hard, doing the right things. I was watching him on the penalty kill against us, and he's flying all over the place, getting his stick in lanes, breaking up passing plays. Granlund's awesome. I miss him on the Nashville Predators.
Even strength, power play, penalty kill.
He does it all.
Granlund, he's just quarterbacking every time he's out there.
Yeah. Incredible.
He's acting like a defenseman, even though he scores a lot.
Yep. So he gets the third, and then the Predators put one in. Who gets our first one?
Tommy Novak.
Novak.
He's doing good. Oh, I mean, we were just saying right before this that he was doing really good, and
yeah,
he's doing good.
Yeah, he said he's having a great last few weeks.
He got second star of the game last night.
Awesome.
I mean, for a good reason.
Yeah. You know, there were some rumors when things were going south leading up to Christmas. People were starting to talk about, you know, if Trotz decides to tear it all down, what players can he move, what pieces can he get rid of, and a lot of people were saying he should try to move Novak, that he's just not working out. And I mean, this is kind of a good example right now. He's had spurts. Like the season where all of our stars were injured.
The Milwaukee Admirals season?
Yeah, we joke about it and say it was the year the Milwaukee Admirals almost made it to the playoffs, because at the end of the year, it was basically our AHL team was the Nashville Predators. All the stars were out. They were all injured. And these young guys all came up, including pretty much led by Novak. I think he was the leader of the team at that point.
He was the leader of the team. That team did have some rising stars who would end up making our team the next season or this season.
Yeah, and
I mean, after that, they put Novak on the regular season team because he was doing.
He proved that he could be. So then he comes back in the next season, and he still had a career year, right? The season after that,
he still had a career year.
But it was very up and down. There's whole spots throughout the season, and this year's a good example where he's doing nothing, and you're like, come on, we need Novak to get going. So he's going right now. Right now, he looks like the Novak that we need, and you just hope he can somehow find the consistency. I don't know if it's a mental thing or what's going on there, but when he's playing well, like he is right now, he's very fun to watch. He makes incredible passing plays. He's good behind the net. So, good player.
Going into the game, we had the best win streak in the West, and at the time, I was like, we're gonna lose. We can't play this like this. We're just.
Yeah.
We gotta step it up.
It's 3-1.
I mean,
and we always get a little.
I was thinking that it was 3-0, but then once Novak scored, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
And we get a little nervous whenever we're playing the worst teams in the league. We tend to play to that level, and this was a good example of that as well. We struggled with the Blackhawks a couple games ago, managed to tie it up with Forsberg late.
It was scary how that was a crazy close game.
It was close. We take it to shootout, win the shootout. Thankfully, Soderblom can't save a shot in shootout to save his life. We get the shootout win. In this game, again, we're playing the Sharks, who are just above the Blackhawks in the standings.
Right before the end of the first period, Wallman scores late in the game
for their fourth goal.
Send us to the locker room.
Down 4-1. So then we come out the second. Saros is pulled. Annunen goes in. Annunen only lets in one goal the rest of the game, but it is the next goal, right?
Yes.
So the Sharks score, and now we're down 5-1.
Granlund scored again.
Oh, it was Granlund again?
It was Granlund who scored the 5th goal.
You have to think, too, like, the way this goes in your head when you're playing hockey, you come out the first, and you've switched your goalies. That's going to spark the team, give us new life, and then the other team scores on the new goalie. In your head, I think you're starting to go now, like, oh, yeah, it's over. Like, we lost this game. But the Predators are showing the resiliency that we were really, like, hanging our hat on last season. Remember at the end of the season, they were all wearing these hats that said relentless on them after the game, and it was like their word. That was the word the coach kept saying. We're relentless. We never stop. It doesn't matter if we're winning, we're losing, we're relentless, we keep going. And we were good at that last year, and there was seemingly no relentlessness in the first half of this season. It looked like when we were losing, we gave up, and when we were winning, we didn't think we could win. We just couldn't find ways to win games. Well, we're finding it again. So we stayed relentless in this game. We kept going. We come back to score 6 unanswered goals to make a 4-goal comeback for the first time in Nashville Predators franchise history.
Yeah.
And we just talked about this on this podcast last week. We broke down which games have had 4-goal comebacks.
Episode before this one, we were talking about that Avalanche versus Sabres game. Now hold on.
Okay, this is crazy.
This is crazy. So
I don't know if anyone has recognized this yet.
Earlier in the season, we traded Scott Wedgwood to the Avalanche for Justus Annunen. And that 4-goal comeback
for the Avalanche.
They came back down like 4-0
against Buffalo Sabres.
And they pull Georgiev, which is the goalie we're playing against because he was traded to the Sharks. And so they pulled Georgiev and put Wedgwood out, and he didn't let any goals in. And they came back to win it. And in our game, we pulled Saros and put Annunen, who was the other asset of that Wedgwood trade in.
Yep.
And we came back
to score 6 against
4-goal comeback against Georgiev. Georgiev is on the bad side on both of the 4-goal comebacks this season.
He's been involved in both of the 4-goal comebacks, both on the winning team and the losing team
on the bad
as
side.
The bad goalie, right? He was on the Avalanche as the goalie that let in 4 before they pulled him and come back to win the game, and he's on the Sharks as the goalie that gave up the 4-goal lead and let us score 5. The 6th one was an empty netter to win the game. Poor Georgiev, man. That's brutal. I don't know if anyone knows this stat yet. We were saying Georgiev does not want to check social media after the game because everyone is posting memes. Yes.
Letting in a bunch of goals.
Like the Snoopy Dog one with a million pucks in the net behind him.
The Matrix scene about the guy dodging
just
the bullet.
Matrix, yeah. Oh, here go all the pucks.
Georgiev right now.
Oh, poor guy. You know, we follow No Sleeves on Twitch and YouTube for Hockey Ultimate Team content. Shout out to No Sleeves. He's awesome. And he's a Sharks fan. I saw him post this morning that Georgiev is the perfect piece that the Sharks needed to make sure that Celebrini and the guys don't get too ahead of themselves, because he wants he wants them to get good draft picks for the next couple of seasons.
Strategy to
so
get
he's
Gorgiev.
like, oh, I'm so glad we traded Blackwood for Gorgiev so that we can lose more of these winnable games.
So we can get Gavin McKenna.
So hilarious. I don't know if the Sharks general manager did this on purpose. Did he get rid of a good goalie for a bad goalie intentionally so that his Sharks would lose more games? You'd hope that they're not losing on purpose, but maybe that's a way of losing more games without telling your team to lose on purpose, is just get a terrible goalie. And, you know, not to throw shade at Gorgiev,
no,
you don't make it into the NHL without being incredibly talented. I'm sure the guy is incredibly talented, but in comparison, he does look really bad right now. And that was a crazy stat, I think, to be involved in both of the only 4-goal comebacks this year as the bad goalie and on both sides. Incredible.
I would like to point out our second goal.
Yeah.
In the second period. So before the shift that the goal was on, we had Svechkov's line out there, and he was like playing really hard, and he had some good opportunities on that shift, and then he draws a penalty, and then on the same power play, Svechkov on the second unit scores the goal.
Awesome. To
give us, I mean, after that, we went on a tear.
Yeah. Him and Blankenburg, Nick Blankenburg, are my two. Oh, there I got balloons for the two.
Is Nashville Predators good?
Oh, are they good? Pure Waffle. That's an awesome name, by the way. I think the Nashville Predators are great. We did not play up to our capabilities for the first half of the season. Some of that might have been team chemistry. Some of it might have been our system. I'm not sure what. But we are definitely good. We have a roster to compete with any team in the league. Now it's just a question of, can we stay consistent enough to make the playoffs? And if we don't make it this year because we started the season so badly, maybe we can't catch up. I think that we now have shown that this roster is good enough that next year is going to be a great year. So. Great question, but I think we're good.
I can't wait till next year.
Yeah, I agree. So anyway, Svechkov and Blankenburg are two of the most promising, exciting guys that we've brought up this year, which is one of the pros of us sucking for the first half of the season, is it's given us a chance to bring more younger players up, like Svechkov and Blankenburg, and they're playing their butts off. They look really good. They're both really fun to listen to in interviews, too. Blankenburg was referencing a Ted Lasso quote with the Believe sign last night, and how much I know you haven't watched Ted Lasso yet, but it's a great show. He said it's his favorite show, and that was cool. And Svechkov is so funny after the interviews. I've seen multiple interviews where they ask him something about the game, and he says, like, they say, oh, what do the Predators need to do better? And his answer is always something like, we need to score more goals. To win the game, we need to score more than the other team. So I think we should score more goals.
That's how you win games.
And he got that one goal copying Ovechkin, I thought was really cool. So he's going to be fun to watch too. Good center position, which we needed. So Forsberg gets an empty netter.
To keep his
streak alive.
6 games.
6-game streak.
6-game goal streak. Which is awesome. I love Forsberg back.
Incredible.
But, I mean, this is what last season Forsberg was. Like, 94 points, 48 goals on the season.
Yeah.
Even after we, clinched the playoffs, you would think we would, rest a little bit. But I remember last season, in, our last couple games where we already knew we were going to the playoffs, Forsberg got, a hat trick in Edmonton.
Yeah. He's like, I'm not slowing down.
I'm not slowing down my stats.
Yeah, you love to see that, especially at home when you know your fans are in attendance and they're coming to see you. It's always a little bit of a bummer when a team has clinched their spot and they rest their star players for the playoffs. You understand why, but as a fan going to the game, it's always a bummer to not see your favorite players play. So It's like going to preseason games and they don't play. It's not quite as fun. Still cool to see the youth, the talent, but coming up. But it's always cool to see your star players.
Let's talk about the game-tying goal.
Game-tying goal. So who gets the... Oh, I know who gets it.
It's
my guy right now.
Your guy right now. So, Yossi, we were putting on lots of pressure because it was 5-4, and we were like, are we gonna make this comeback?
Yeah, can we do this?
And we were putting on all the pressure. Then the Sharks got a hold of it and tried to clear it. Then Yossi jumped up and caught the puck and saved it from going off sides.
On the power play, which is huge. You want to keep the puck in zone on the power play. Keep the pressure on the defenders. Don't let them change. So he saves it, but with his hand. And who does the puck fall in front of?
Right in front of Ryan O'Reilly.
99% of the players, I think,
would take possession.
Would have accidentally touched the puck right then. Not even accidentally. I mean, just without thinking.
Natural instinct.
The puck's there. You're on the power play. You're going to go. O'Reilly had the awareness and the brilliance to realize that puck was swatted down by Yossi. He can't touch it or the play's going to be blown dead for a hand pass. So what does he do?
He guards the puck, which you don't really see.
He guards it, keeps
crazy.
The Sharks from getting it so they can't clear it, while Yossi skates back over and retakes possession because he's the one that hit it down with his hand. He can take it without it being a hand pass. Yossi takes it, gets the puck over to Marchessault.
And Marchessault passes it back to Forsberg, passes it to Yossi, and it's like
perfect one-timer.
Perfect one.
Top corner over Georgiev's glove. Tie game, 5-5 from the captain,
and
Roman Yossi.
We had a crazy reaction. We were just like, oh my gosh,
let's go!
We just tied the game.
Incredible. Who gets the one to put us ahead?
Blankenburg.
Little Bobby Orr, we like to call him around here.
Or Bobby Orr Jr.
Bobby Orr Jr.
And he did a Bobby Orr goal.
It was Bobby Orr goal. He gets the puck. Was that also power play?
I don't remember, but...
It might have also been power play. I can't remember. But he gets the puck. There's like a million guys trying to block the shot in front of the net. And he has the patience to keep skating, which we've seen him do this a couple of times now. They were joking after the game and say, hey, are you just getting known now for only scoring when it's most important, like the big-time goals?
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, no. But he has the patience to wait it out. There's a diving player in front of him. He kind of skates over to the side, wrists it, right? I think a wrist shot.
Yeah.
Just right through Georgiev. I think he kind of got a little piece of it, but it went through his arm and into the back of the net.
Game-winning goal.
We're up 6-5. I think Blankenburg might have 3 goals on the season, and I'm pretty sure 2 of them are game winners. So that's what I mean. He scores the big goals, and then Forsberg gets the empty netter from deep in his defensive zone, shoots it straight down, all the way down for the empty netter, keep his streak alive. That was awesome.
And
yeah, 7-5, huge game for the Nashville Predators. Keep our 4-game win streak alive, which is still the longest streak in the Western Conference. I think one other team might have a 3-game streak. Everyone else is one or two. So Preds are on a roll. Only other team with a longer streak right now in the whole league are the Washington Capitals. They're on a 5-game win streak. They're the beasts of the East. I mean, the Capitals are going to be the team to beat, it looks like, on the Eastern side. I mean, I'd like to see Toronto do well. It'd be fun for Toronto fans to get their Stanley Cup finally. But there's going to be some tough competition, and there's some young Eastern teams fighting for the wild card spots that are going to be really fun to watch. I'm having a blast watching the Canadians. The Blue Jackets are one of the favorite stories in the country right now. They're playing so well. The Senators are playing better. The Bruins are fighting for that wild card spot. I mean, it's going to be a race to the finish in the East. The West doesn't look like it so much, but
it's pretty much
maybe the Nashville Predators can get in the mix and fight for one of those wild card spots. As of today,
so
One more win, and we will jump the... Who's ahead of us now? It's not Seattle or Utah. They're a little bit farther. There's one other team right there. In the West.
Calgary and St. Louis are like closest.
Yeah, it's Calgary, St. Louis. And then you've got like Seattle and Utah. Yeah, and Vancouver, it's the Ducks. Yeah, so one more win, we're going to jump the Ducks. Assuming they don't win also. One more win after that, we're with the Kraken. One more win after that, we're with Utah.
And then
Two more wins after that, we're in the wild card spot. Now that assumes all those teams lose. So that's, it's going to take more wins than that.
But that doesn't...
But that means
that's not the worst.
That's 5 wins.
That's 5 wins.
And we're still, 40 games left in the season, 35, so... It's possible. We are still within range.
By any means eliminated.
And we're definitely a little farther in range, or a little closer to being there than we were just like a month ago, right? So, okay, anything else from the game last night?
Let's see. Oh, well, Justin Barron got a second goal as a Predator already.
Oh, yeah, that was a nice goal, too.
From Forsberg, and it's just Forsberg to Barron had a pretty good connection there.
Yeah, that was great.
I mean, Barron wasn't on pace to do that well at all, but he's doing better.
Yeah, he's growing on me.
I think
he's growing on me. I still miss Carrier. I think we still got. Right now, I still feel like we got the losing end of that deal. And it cleared up a little cap space. So I don't know if they're planning on maybe going to acquire a piece. We thought at the time that we were trying to make space for Dylan Cousins from Buffalo. That hasn't happened. I don't know if that's Buffalo doesn't want to or the Preds changed their mind. We like the way we look right now. My guess would be we're going to want to add another center piece to have depth in case we get up to the playoffs. If we keep climbing the way we're climbing. The problem is, and a lot of Predators fans feel this way, that if we keep getting better, we're going to be back in that middle area of the standings where you're not good enough to win the cup. Oh, Game of Balloons again. Apparently I do this a lot. You're not good enough to win the cup, but you're also not bad enough to get one of the best draft picks. And that middle area can be really hard to climb out of. So hopefully we don't get stuck in mediocrity like that, but we'll see. Okay.
There's one more guy I think I want to talk about who we haven't really talked about this game is Jonathan Marchessault, who got first start of the game.
For sure.
And let's see, he had like 3 or 4 points, including our 4th goal, which really gave us momentum, so that was an important goal. And he assisted on some other ones. I don't know if he had 2 or 3 assists, but
yeah,
I would say, and overall, love Marchessault and Stamkos right now.
Yeah,
and Forsberg is
the whole top line. They all keep producing. It's goals, assists. It feels like every night we see all 3 of them on the score sheet, and that's what you want from your star players. You want them all there, and Yossi too. Yossi's in that mix as well. He finally scored, but he's been getting assists. When you pull up the list, we were looking because tonight Team of the Week will come out for Hockey Ultimate Team. So we were looking every night, and we see all 3 of them on the score sheet. If you go for the last what month, you want from your star players. You want them all there. And Yossi too. Top in points. Yossi's in that mix as well. He's number 5. But he's been right down there, Marchessault. When you pull up the list, we were looking because tonight, Team of the Week. So there you go, top players in the entire league for the last month. Ultimate Team. But if you take that every night to the last week, you go, you've got Philip Forsberg at number 1. We were wondering maybe EA. Yossi's in that mix as well. Second star of the week last week. But he's been right down there, Marchessault. When you pull up the list, we were looking because tonight, Team of the Week. There you go, top players in the entire league for the last month. Ultimate Team. so right now, every night, right here, the last one, you've got Philip Glass at number one. We're wondering maybe EA. She's in that all of our second star of the week last week, but he's been right down there. Marcus, maybe. We were looking at tonight too. There you go. Exactly. Yeah. That's what we're pulling for. So, should we go to our featured cards?
All right. I think it's your turn to go first.
My turn to go first. Okay. This is going to be a different one, so I'm going to give some context. It's not a Nashville Predator. We are huge Predators fans here, if you can't tell. But this podcast isn't only about the Nashville Predators. We go around the league, too. And after this, stick around on Twitch. If you want to head over to Twitch, we're going to break down, watch the video of last night's epic comeback for the Preds, but we'll also look at the scores and standings around the league and watch some highlights, things like that. So, this player I'm going to show, we've been talking about a lot this week, is the best player in the National Hockey League and is currently serving a 3-game suspension. And the only reason I picked this one, it's been all the talk of the week, is Connor McDavid. Okay, so I'll go ahead and show the card. This is the Aimbots.
Oh, the Aimbots.
Aimbots Connor McDavid.
From the new set.
From the new set. Awesome card. But the reason I picked this one, was it on there?
Yeah, it was.
Was it on there? Okay. You know, we were talking yesterday about how many penalties are committed on Connor McDavid that the refs don't call because he's the best player in the league and it's hard to defend him. They let a lot of stuff go. And so the stat we heard was that he's like 190th or something in the league for penalties drawn. And considering that he is by far the hardest player to guard, that's crazy. He should be number 1 in penalties called against him. You see him hooked, held, interfered, slashed, tripped all the time, and the refs aren't calling it. And I think someone was saying that's because if they called him, they would have to call like 10 penalties a game against McDavid. But if the penalties are being committed, then I think they should be called.
Do it.
And then people will learn to not commit penalties against him. And maybe that means he's going to score more often, but that's the way it should be. If he's the best player, you can't let people commit penalties against him just to even it up. That's not fair, right? If he's the best player, he's the best player. And so he gets held down for like 15 seconds by Connor Garland in the Canucks game on Saturday. I think it was Saturday night. They're down 1. Goalie pulled, trying to tie the game. And Garland holds him down forever. It's just laying on top of him, keeping him from getting up. Canucks fans are saying McDavid was like not trying to get up, that, you know, it wasn't really holding or interference. But think, this is the best player in the world and his team is down 1 with the goalie pulled. They're trying to score the goal. You think he's going to lay on the ice on purpose and not try to get up and score? That it doesn't make any sense. He was obviously being held down. I think it's very obvious if you go back and watch it. He gets up, there's no penalty called, so he takes it into his own hands and cross-checks Connor Garland in the head. That you shouldn't do. He should for sure get a suspension for it. I fully agree. You can't let players do that. It's too dangerous. We need to keep the game safe. With that said, this is what you're going to get if you are the referees and you don't call things when they should be called. You're letting anger get way too much a part of the game and people are going to lose their temper. And, you know, then you get that. And on the same play, weirdly, Myers cross-checks Bouchard in the head for apparently no reason at all. So he also got a 3-game suspension. I thought his should have been more. McDavid at least had a reason to do it.
Is he taking lessons from Corey Perry?
Yeah, the worst part is that it was a great game. The two teams have a rematch in this rivalry from last year's playoff series Thursday night, and now McDavid won't be in it. So that's my pick. I wish McDavid was in the rematch tomorrow night, but it is what it is. What's yours?
I like a lot. I like to pick Predators or good performers.
Yes,
from the game.
Me too.
I like doing that a lot. And I pick first. It was tough to decide because there were a lot of great performers. But I picked first star of the game, Jonathan Marchessault.
Let's go, Jonathan Marchessault.
I thought it would be pretty cool to do him because, I mean,
4-point night.
Yeah.
First 4-point game for the Nashville Predators.
Yeah, I haven't done him yet. I mean, I've done guys like O'Reilly twice, but
yeah,
it would be really fun to do Marchessault. Maybe I have to do Stamkos soon.
Agreed. And Marchessault is growing on me more and more. I feel like he plays Predator-style hockey. He is a hard player. He's not afraid to make hits, get in there, get in the hard spots to play the game with people pushing him, hitting him, even though he's smaller. He scores incredible goals, has made great assists. He's awesome. He's awesome. And first 4-point game for the Preds, which ties his career high. He's had 4-point games before, just not for us. And he's one of our top goal scorers and point leaders. So that's a great pick. Okay, well, guys, thanks for tuning in. It is Wednesday. Our next game will be tomorrow night, a rematch for the Nashville Predators against the San Jose Sharks. I'm guessing we're going to get to see them play against Yaroslav Askarov.
Yay!
Which will be cool. We're big Askarov fans here. He's so fun to watch. We were so sad to see the Preds trade him. But it makes sense. We signed UC Saros to a new 8-year deal. And Askarov was the best goalie prospect in the league. I think, his agent probably came to the Preds and said, look, he wants a trade. He wants to go to a team where he can play. And that's obviously the case with the Sharks. They needed goaltending. Actually, they had Blackwood, so they were okay. But I think they knew they had a young team that wasn't going to be good until later. So they wanted a young goalie that they could develop and then him be the star goalie when their team was ready to be a cup contender. And I think Askarov is the guy. He looks so good. He makes some wild plays. If you haven't watched him play yet, tune in on Thursday night to watch the Preds versus Sharks. I'm assuming he's going to play, especially after Georgiev's horrible performance last night. So watch and see. He makes incredible saves. Sometimes that means he's out of position. So I think that's kind of probably the area they're going to be trying to clean up in his game, is keep him more positionally sound. Because in the National Hockey League, you'll usually pay for that if you're out of position. But he's super fun to watch. Really talented goalie. So, yeah, check that out. And it should be a great rematch after last night's game.
If there's anybody who should have a goalie goal, it might be Askarov.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And maybe not even a normal goalie goal. Like, he sneaks up to
he just goes up and joins the power play.
I want in the power play.
Send me a one-timer.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Scores! Askarov!
No, that'd be so good. I could totally see him being in a goalie fight. Like, he's just a crazy player. So, and they obviously have Celebrini as well, really good. Will Smith, Granlund, all the guys we've been talking about. Eklund's really good. Good. Their defense is looking better. They got like Liljegren.
Zetterlund's doing good on.
Zetterlund, yeah. Wallman's playing good on defense. So they've got a really bright future. So I think that's a fun game to watch against the Preds on Thursday night. And we should have our next episode on a Friday morning. So see you all then. If you want to stick around, reload the Twitch stream here in a minute. You'll have to refresh the stream. We're going to watch some videos on the Twitch stream. So thanks for tuning in on YouTube, and stay soft.